What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. I'm your host, CEO Haize, and you are tuned in to the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. On today's episode, this is a special Sunday episode. Wasn't actually planning to drop a episode today because I usually don't drop on Sundays, but in the interest of just the conversation that's been going on and things like that, I wanted to drop this video because when I get to tomorrow and start focusing back on draft prospects, I really want to focus on realistic draft prospects. But as you guys know, I do cover people that you guys want to hear from, and a lot of people have been asking about Kofi Cockburn, and so we're going to get into it. And I'm going to talk about Kofi Cockburn and why he won't be the pick for the Chicago Bulls and may not be a pick for anyone in the 2020 draft. We're going to get into it right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans. I try, let me not say I try not to make I want to make honest videos, right? I always want to be honest over where I stand. And I know that Kofi has been a player that's been on a lot of Bulls fans' minds. And I understand why, especially Io coming from Illinois and Kofi having solid stats in college and what that means. Like I get people can look at Kofi Cockburn and just in a vacuum of looking at what he did on the collegiate level and think and work themselves into thinking, hey, this is a guy who maybe the Bulls should take a look at. But we're going to talk about why he's not the pick for the Chicago Bulls, why he most likely won't be the pick for anyone in the draft, and he's going to more than likely go undrafted, and why Kofi Cockburn is not going to be a very good NBA player just over the course of his career. He may carve out a role. I want to be clear with that. Kofi may carve out a role as a specialist, but as somebody who is bet in or like the main player even coming off the bench for team, it's not going to happen for Kofi Cockburn, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about why. First off, let's talk about the positives, because let's start off with positives. The legit size of a Kofi Cockburn is something that you cannot teach, as we all know. Kofi Cockburn, a legit 7 foot, a 7'6" wingspan, 302 pounds, somebody who has that legit size, who just comes in and just fills in space and is a big body who can't be moved around, things like that. Solid, and I can see people thinking that, hey, he has the potential to be that enforcer for some NBA team. 20.9 points per game on the college level last year, averaging 10.6 rebounds. I think he was the only player in college basketball that averaged 20 and 10, 1 block per game from him as well, 2.3 turnovers per game. Also, a free throw percentage is only 65%. That's second lowest of his collegiate career. No three-pointers made. He understands the player that he is. 2-point percentage of 59%, an overall field goal percentage of 59% as well, because all he takes is 2-pointers in his collegiate season. So yes, Kofi is a player who definitely knows his strengths, and his strengths did work for him on the collegiate level. He's a strong, big body player who's going to get rebounds, be able to take the boards up. I mean, the basket, really close to the basket, score that way. He's going to figure out, or in college, he figured out a way. He understands what he can and can't do on the floor very well. He's not somebody who's going to go out there and try to do things that's just not in his wheelhouse. He's also not the greatest defensive player. I think sometimes in what I've seen from certain comments that people overrate the defender he is. He's a big man who fills space, who if staying just down low can definitely be a deterrent. Definitely put some big bodies on there. Definitely make people think twice before they come into the lane on the Chicago Bulls. But this is where we get into the negatives. Again, not a lot of positives, unfortunately, to give him. His lateral quickness is terrible. If Kofi Cockburn gets switched onto any guard in the NBA, it doesn't matter if it's for 2 seconds. He's getting cooked. They're blown by him. That's it. Kofi's inability to be switchable, even the most power forwards on the NBA level, it's different when you're in college and you're 302 pounds and that's not the NBA size or speed. It's different, and you can make it look a little bit easier to be an effective player. He's not going to be that he doesn't project to be that on the NBA level. His scoring, he's a very limited scorer. And when I say limited, I literally mean putbacks, and that's about maybe alley-oops, even coming off pick and rolls offensively. His foot speed is too slow. He's not a quick player by any means. That he doesn't project to be a good pick and roll player on the NBA level. He's not a fit for today's NBA at all. Kofi Cockburn is very much a player who was an era or two too late to be an impact player in the NBA. And that's where it really boils down. And that's why he's really slated in most mocks to go undrafted, is because really, when you look at the way that today's NBA is, yes, you're not going to find a lot, I think, any prospects with the combination of size and strength that Kofi Cockburn has. But as we know, the NBA is becoming more about being skilled, right? Being skilled, being quick. And yes, you can't teach size, but you can't teach everyone some skill sets as well. And Kofi Cockburn does not have that, and he's projected to be outclassed. Really, Kofi Cockburn, to me, is in the vein of a Kendrick Perkins. And we saw Kendrick Perkins go from being very effective on that roster with the Boston Celtics to how towards the end of the season it wasn't like that for Kofi. I'm sorry, for Kendrick Perkins. And that's really how his career is going to go. Drafting Kofi Cockburn with the 18th pick would be suicide for anybody, any front office. And there are people and Bulls fans literally saying, hey, let's draft this guy with our 18th overall pick. No, that would be one of the most idiotic moves in draft history, to draft a player like Kofi Cockburn, who's so limited in what he even the positives that he brings. He is so limited in those things that it would be suicide to draft him at the 18th pick. You hear some Bulls fans, oh, well, pick him up if he's not drafted, or pick up a low second round pick to just draft Kofi. Listen, there are even more prospects that still project to be better, that it's not worth wasting a pick on Kofi Cockburn. He is not going, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm the same guy who told you guys the Bulls were not going to be trading for Miles Turner or Jeremy Grant. I'm the same guy who told you guys that the Bulls were not going to be trading Kobe White last season or by the trade deadline. I told you guys that the Bulls were not going to be trading Patrick Williams by any means. When it came to the trade deadline, don't look for the Bulls to make an impact pick because of it. I said all these things. Listen to me when I tell you guys, Kofi Cockburn is not going to be a Chicago Bull. There's no way in world in which that happens, that he's a Chicago Bull playing on an NBA level. Is it a chance as an undrafted free agent that they maybe throw him in G League? He's already Illinois. Hey, come play for our G League team. Again, he's not going to have a deal though. Keep in mind, there are two different ways you can play for a G League team. You can offer them a two-way contract to where you can bring them up, but there's also, hey, you're just signed to our G League team. Any other NBA team that wants to sign you, if they do, they can pick you up at any time. Kofi Cockburn is not going to be on the Chicago Bulls, especially not in the actual NBA. Yes, Kofi could very well, because he does show dedication. And again, I don't want to shit on the kid, because listen, he is who he is as a player. He understands who he is as a player. But understanding that is exactly why he's not going, his road to getting actual NBA minutes, actually carve out a role for himself on an actual NBA team, is so minuscule. Because what he brings is so specialized that there are other players, while they may not bring his size, right? Because you can't teach that. While they may not bring his length, while they may not bring his strength, bring so many other things on the defensive end, things like that are going to help a team much more than Kofi Cockburn just standing in the paint, because that's all he can do, is stand in the paint. Doesn't have a true back to the basket game. He doesn't have true post moves. He's not one of those players that you can even put down low and say, hey, listen, he's so good with the post moves and so fluid with it that he can possibly be a scorer here on the NBA level. It's just not there for Kofi Cockburn. And unfortunately, yes, he's an Illinois kid, right? Played for Illinois. A kid who, by all means, is good character. But that doesn't make an NBA player. It doesn't. And by looking at what Kofi Cockburn projects to be, and again, projections aren't that, but he doesn't have any form of jump shot. Any form of jump shot. Not even 5 feet, not 8 feet out, not 10 feet out. And he doesn't have the mechanics that look. Now, hey, he could very well get with somebody who's going to have the time to develop him, and maybe, just maybe, Kofi Cockburn can develop some type of shot that can change something. But at 22, he'll be 23 in his rookie season. There's a reason why that happened. There's a reason why, with that much time in the college game, you're still projected to go undrafted, that it's just not going to work out for you in the NBA. Now, with his work ethic and size, hey, he may fill a specialist role. But again, his lack of lateral quickness, his lack of any quickness at all, is definitely going to be such a detriment at the NBA level. And with the way that the game is played now, that Kofi really does not project have much of a role or be able to give an NBA team much. We see players like Steven Adams, right, be unable to be played in certain series in the NBA just because of the way that the NBA can go. Kofi Cockburn would be that plus more as far as a detriment for the team. You talk about small ball. There are so many teams now that technically go small that have quicker power forwards, 6'7" power forwards, 6'8" power forwards, that are a little bit quicker, can go out to the 3-point line. More centers now than ever going out to the 3-point line. If Kofi has to guard any type of center that pulls him out of the paint, he is going to be completely exposed in every facet of an NBA game. And I know this isn't what a lot of Bulls fans want to hear. I know this is something that a lot of people really do think that Kofi should be a Chicago Bull. But I'm here to be realistic with you guys. I'm not here to sensationalize. I'm not here to support any wild dreams. Kofi Cockburn is not an NBA player. And I'm willing to say that and bet on that. Hey, and if he proves me wrong, hats off to Kofi Cockburn. Shout out to that man. And I hope that he can find a way. I hope that he can improve his game. I hope that a team takes a shot at him. But it should not be our Chicago Bulls. And that's my opinion on Kofi Cockburn. Let me know what you guys feel down below. Go ahead and sound off. You guys, disagree with me. That's fine. If you can say anything that can change my mind. Listen, Kofi's strong. He's big. He's a big body. But that does not make an NBA player in today's game. I want to hear from you guys. Sound off down below. If you're on the podcast side, never be afraid to send in your thoughts. You can follow us on any social media platform at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave us a text and our voicemail, you can do so at 773-270-2799. Like I like to end every episode on. Go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.